And we're back. Beefy boys are.
Needed that this card had to like not live up to expectations. It needed that this card had to like not live up to expectations. It didn't happen.
So, looking
Yeah,
at it that way.
Yeah, no, this was a really interesting matchup because I love Ulberg. I also am more high on Nega Mariano than probably your average Joe. And it's strictly because of the chin and like the intangibles. So like you had this matchup of like, you know, taller, bigger, better athlete, crisper striker, more technical guy against just an absolute dog. And I know we throw that term around on this show a lot, but seriously, Nega Mariano, he's not going to wow you. He's not going to throw any spinning kicks or flying knees. He's just a tank of a man that's a dog and has a fucking swinging set of nuts.
And he's happy to try and walk you down, too, as we saw dive into it. But
yeah.
To Ulberg's credit, man, he fought stylistically perfect. Made sure that he kept circling away from Nega Mariano's power hand, would throw those leg kicks that were chopping Nega Mariano's leg up. I mean, that dude's left leg was ruined on 2 kicks, and Ulberg was landing clean. Kick. And Nega Mariano, like we're talking about, has a crazy chin. He's probably aware of his chin just as well as we are, so he's not afraid to walk into shots. But like we always talk about, your chin's only your chin. Your liver doesn't have a chin. Your legs don't have a chin.
Yep, 100%. And so Nega Mariano's leg compromised early on, no fluke, purely the doing of Ulberg. Great strategy there and great implementation of the strategy. And Nega Mariano already has pretty poor movement. I've said a lot of nice things about him on today and other days on the show, but his movement's pretty rudimentary, not by any class or by any words like a plus athlete. And so you take a plodding kind of slower guy and take away one of his legs, and he was a sitting duck for the essentially 50 cal sniper rifle that is Ulberg.
I mean, and walked about like if Pereira's going to get that rush to a title shot, then what's to stop anyone from getting a top 15 shot?
100%, bro. And I mean, really, we can keep it pushing before my hands get too sticky from jerking off Ulberg. But seriously, man, I mean, absolute stud. I mean, to put Nega Mariano out like that, I don't think that was a fluke. I don't think Nega Mariano, I don't really view him any differently. I mean, I guess I kind of do because I thought he had an uncrackable chin. But I think against most guys, he does have an uncrackable chin. I think Ulberg is something else.
I fully agree, man. But yeah, we can keep it pushing to bantamweight breakdown, as we usually call it whenever we get to them. Not a lot of bantamweights on this card, so we're probably going to not be as wet for bantamweights as we typically are. But we have Montel Jackson at -200 fighting Julio Arce at +170. This is one of the few decisions of the night. Pretty competitive fight. I don't think the judges' scorecards necessarily tell the story of the fight too well. I think round 3 is the least competitive. But man, round 1, I had it very competitive, very close. I thought the last minute takedown by Arce stole the round for him on my card. I had it 10-9 Arce after 1.
See, I both agree and disagree with you. My scorecard ends up looking a lot like all the other judges' scorecards, but I do agree with your overarching point that this fight was very competitive and very close, and one of those ones where the scorecard doesn't necessarily tell the full story of the fight. Round 1, agree, very, very close. I lean Jackson. There was a little bit of snoozy clinch control, but I did think in the exchanges, Jackson landed harder and cleaner. I guess if you want to use the word damage, you can use it. I'm going to use the word harder and cleaner, just kind of jumped off the screen, eye test type of.
At +150, fighting Sungwoo Choi at -175. This is a huge fight for Trizano. He misses weight by 1.5 pounds. Last fight on his contract. He's essentially setting himself up. If he loses, you miss weight. Last fight, probably not getting re-signed. Not that he's not been impressive. It's just that he's not really what the UFC would keep if this were to be an L for him.
Yeah, and tinfoil hat, you think that that's why he missed weight. He was like, fuck it, what do I got to lose? Kind of let it all hang out and give myself a little advantage here. I don't usually like to take that approach when a fighter misses weight, but last fight on the contract, this round was back and forth. And honestly, I rarely say this, but this is one where you're like, oh, this isn't getting.
Both guys were just like, whatever happens, happens. I'm just going to throw till I literally am out cold. Which, good for Trizano because his chin looked good too.
As much as we talk about Trizano needing to win, I mean, it's not like Choi's sitting pretty in the in the penthouse. Troy's had a lot of losses too. Now,
Oh God, who was it that had the crazy comeback at 125 pounds? Fighting the Asian, who's fighting Sumo Darji, Matt Schnell.
Matt Schnell.
Sumo
Schnell's
Darji round 2 probably has to be the winner.
Or in Landwehr Onama somewhere, I think, up there. We've had some fun ones. And guess what all those things have in common? I'm pretty sure all those fights were on the prelims. So don't fucking miss the prelims and don't miss the Beefy Boys breakdown of the prelims.
Karolina Kowalkiewicz, or Kowalkiewicz as I like to say, Kowalkiewicz, however you want to say it.
There's like 30 different pronunciations.
Right, yeah, no doubt. Honestly, man, this is one of those fights where I didn't know what to expect. I'll be very straightforward and honest because
Vegas didn't know what to expect. Because like Colton Cavin, both of these women are very like similar career arcs. Being said that like they both had some L's, went on an L streak, but they're both coming off impressive wins. So it's like, how do you interpret that and like juxtapose it and project it moving forward? Like, was the good performance a fluke? Were the bad performances the truth? I mean, people do get better. They're both 37 years old, so neither one of them really has like an age gap. Although Colton Cavich probably has an experience gap. It was a weird fight. It was a no bet for me, but I agree with that sentiment.
And also, just to show you how close this fight is, the judges all have the same scorecard on scoring, but not the way they get there.
Yeah, which is bizarre. I can't wait to see how you hear it score, because like when I heard this scorecard, I was like, am I a crazy person? Because let me just go a little insight into how I viewed this fight. I don't have the word close in my notes once. Like, I thought each round had a clear winner, and it's a different winner than the judges had. So I might be out here on an island, but I literally don't have the word close in my notes once. That's why whenever like it was like it wasn't a split decision. Like I was like, oh, I know who won, and then the other person won, and I was like, I don't know anything about fighting.
Okay, so I thought round 1 was probably the easiest one to score, right? Kowalkiewicz gets the takedown about a minute into the round, and pretty much just able to control Gomez Juarez in the grappling sense from that point, almost to the end of the round.
Yeah, I mean, she has like 3.5 minutes or so. She is attempting subs, but I mean, good on Silvana Gomez Juarez. You know, the sub defense was on point. None of the subs really got close. She protected her chin, her neck, fought the hands, all that stuff, that kind of fundamentals that you're coached to do. So, I mean, but also did not get back to her feet and didn't reverse the position either. So you said, open and shut, clear winner. Kowalkiewicz gets the 10-9 easy. Not much damage at all, though.
Right, neither.
On an island, they didn't give her either.
Right. So I end up having it 29-28.
I actually sketch. You want to do it all on camera like that in front of everybody. So I think that's what kind of lets me like really honestly believe maybe it was an honest mistake. But whenever, in my opinion, also like if Silvana Gomez Juarez gets her hand raised, surprise, she does not miss the Kowalkiewicz. That's where it gets weird to me, because it's like
they're all ranked girls. Like, she's never lost a non-ranked fight. This would have been that loss.
Yeah, that's some heavy lifting. But like I said, the scorecard situation is bizarre. I don't know, man. Like I said, I kind of just come away with that one from a question mark. It's like they're probably not going to re-sign Gomez Juarez, which sucks for her, especially at 37 years old. Like, what's she going to go do, hit the local scene and come back at 39? Like, I don't know. It's probably a wrap. And then Kowalkiewicz, yeah, they get to market that name, I guess, for a couple more fights. I don't know, man. I maybe build some other prospects off of her.
See, that's where I think they're going with it, is like it's an easy prospect builder. If that's her level and they've seen it here, they're like, well, let's just, she's 2 wins in a row. It's an easy way to throw her to like 2 or 3 girls in a row and cut her, but build these 2 or 3 other girls.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds cold-hearted, but that's the game, Let's keep it pushing, man. We got Matt Frivola, the steamroller, plus 135 dog, fighting Ottman Azatar, who's undefeated 13-0, but I believe coming off an injury, if I'm not mistaken. He's been out a while.
Ottman wants in the bag of Zatar.
And then minus 155 favorite in the lightweight division. I forgot, bro. They brought it up because everybody on this show knows that I'm a big Jalen Turner dick rider. I forgot Frivola got the win over Jalen Turner, which is wild to think about.
Frivola's kind of a little beast, man. Like he wins fights that you don't think he should win, but then he also will lose fights he probably shouldn't.
Sure. So I guess in that sense, it's a great call out, and I'm not disagreeing with that. But like from a hey, I'm Dominic the fan. Like, am I trying to watch that fight? Hell, fucking no. I mean, the thing is, it would probably end up being a fun fight. It would probably he probably drop Patty. Like it'd probably be like the exact same matchup that they've been giving Patty. But I've seen that movie. I'm over the like exciting can Patty fights, like that genre. I'm over it. I'm over it. It's honestly making me like not care about Patty as much. Like I remember like a couple months ago, every time I like see a Patty video on Instagram or something, I like couldn't wait to like watch it. Now I kind of have a little Patty fatigue, but only because of like this matchup bullshit. Like would my Patty fatigue go away instantly if they matched him up with a Jalen Turner or a fucking top 10 dog? Oh yeah, I'm all in. Patty, hey, I'm singing the song, like all of it. But like as we sit now, him getting ready to fight, the Matt Fravolas of the world, like no disrespect, but it's like like my give a fuck meter is decreasing like by the second.
I agree. I agree. And unfortunately for Frivola, he doesn't really sell pay per views or fights like that. Like, not many people are huge on his name.